Yes, hello. Is this the one and only Jesse Lee Peterson?
Welcome. Yes, sir.
Wow, it's amazing to speak with you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for having me. And
Yes.
like you said, yeah, first time caller, long time listener. I got a quick question for you. So I'm a MGTOW guy. Have you ever heard of MGTOW,
Uh,
Jesse?
Tell the folks what it is.
Sure, sure.
I have
Okay,
heard of, but you tell the people what it is.
sure. I'm happy to. MGTOW is an acronym. It stands for Men Going Their Own Way.
And how old are
We're
you?
I'm 37.
And what does it mean going your own way?
Essentially, there's two major tenets that buttress MGTOW, and that is the first one is you swear off marriage, and then the second one is you swear off cohabitation with women. So no living with women and no marrying women.
Why did you make that decision?
Well, frankly, I come from a broken family. My parents got divorced when I was 6 years old, and it was very traumatic. It was very unpleasant, you could say, and I saw firsthand what it's like when a marriage can go sideways, and I saw how it destroyed my father, both emotionally and financially, and of course, I want to avoid that destruction in my life.
So you have decided never to get married?
Yeah, and that's sort of why I was calling in. I was wondering if you could chime in on that. Do you think that that's a good idea, especially based on like our current, with things like the current legal framework with VAWA, Violence Against Women Act, the Duluth model of domestic violence. We live in, I believe, MGTOW believes, we live in an era where men have essentially become legislated into second-class status.
But
And so
what is it about you that decided as an individual male to just give up? What does that feel like?
yeah, right. I mean, that is you could classify it that way. Yeah, so I'm 37 now. The last time I dated, I was 30. I was 30, and then I dated this young lady until she was 31, or until I was 31, and then we broke up. I haven't dated since. I have, you could say, hooked up a couple of times, but
What does
you
that
know,
feel like to be an individual male and and have given up because of tough times? What is that like
uh,
to be defeated? What does it feel like?
yeah. I mean, I don't want to categorize it that way, but there is a certain sense of it's just not worth it anymore.
What does that feel like to be defeated as a male?
Bad, negative. It elicits negative emotions.
What do you mean by that?
I'd say there are feelings of despair. There are feelings of embarrassment. There are feelings of failure. I was raised in like a traditional Catholic home. I went to like a Catholic grammar school, Jesuit Catholic high school.
So
I went to a
rather than
Jesuit Catholic university, and I was taught that you want to seek out marriage, you want to have children, white picket fence in the suburbs, or and I don't see any of that happening for me now.
giving up because they taught you wrong, you shouldn't seek out marriage. You shouldn't seek out anything but what is right. Seek the kingdom of God in His right way, and all will be added. And if you seek out things on the outside, you will become defeated. You will be defeated because you don't have good on your side. You only have evil. And so the Catholic Church taught you wrong. And so
Well,
you've been defeated by women. And I just don't know how men live with themselves when they give up because times get rough or seem rough. Because real men become stronger through tougher times, right? Because it's those times that's making you better in life and stronger. And so that's why I was asking you, Joseph, what does that feel like to give up and then join a group that encourages you to give up. And just, what do you guys do? Y'all shake each other's hand and feel good about being losers?
Well, no. So
But
I
that's
would
what
at
you're
this
doing.
point,
There's no
no.
encouragement.
At this
It's
point,
all
I would say that
losers.
you're miscategorizing. We're essentially a group of men that have gone through false domestic violence accusations,
But that's
or
not
maybe
a reason to give
a
up.
divorce.
But that's
Well, it's
not a
definitely
reason to
it's
become a loser. That's a reason to become stronger. Count it all joy when you're
well,
going through tribulations.
I mean, I want to agree with you, but I also think it's we live in an environment, we live in a society now where, and you talk about this at length, if a woman gets emotional, she can just pick up the phone and the police will come and they'll arrest you.
Absolutely.
I don't want to be arrested.
But also in those times, if that should happen to you, that's not a reason to give up. That is a reason to grow even more so, because you will learn more about yourself. You will grow closer to the Father within, and you will become the example. You will learn from it. Life is not over just because some evil woman called the cops. You will see how to deal with women need men to be strong. Children need men to be strong. God created you to be strong, not to give up and go join a losing group of other weak men.
Well, I agree that God wants us to be strong, but
So then why would you give
that,
up like that and join a group that has given up of men?
Well, because I think
Hold on,
that
Joseph. Don't hang up. Hold on, okay?
Sure.
All right, I'm right. I'm going to get to your super chats and D-Live in a minute. I want to finish up with Joseph, our first-time caller out of Illinois. And Joseph belongs to a group called MGTOW, Men Going Their Own Way. And they've had rough time because they didn't know how to deal with women. And now they've given up. They have this group. And so you just have a group of men who have given up. What a sad commentary, right? Men, you're not supposed to give up. You're supposed to endure and overcome and become stronger. You're the light of the world. And if the light goes out, the world goes dark. And the rest cannot see their way. What the? You have God on your side, but you got to become individual. It doesn't make sense that you join a group that is as bad as you are and encouraging you not to be strong. It doesn't make sense anymore. I understand that your parents let you down. I understand that you're born into a fallen state. It's a sin, a fallen state. But at some point, especially with men, and not just men, women too, at some point as an individual, you're like, what the? What are you going to do? Live a life as a loser? And I would never join a group of males, that are losers, and all you do is sit around the dinner table and talk about how bad women are, so you're losers. It doesn't make sense. So I wanted to understand from Joseph, how old are you, Joseph?
Oh, again, I'm 37.
Being 37, how do you live with yourself knowing that you have allowed women who are the weaker vessel to defeat you?
Well, again, I would say that's a little bit of a rough, scathing characterization. I would say I'm trying to do as best as I can.
You gave up on the women because they can call the cops, they can take your stuff, so you don't want to get married anymore. You had a hard life growing up, so you gave up.
Yeah.
Isn't that true?
Yes, I wanted to ask you about that. Do you still recommend men getting married?
Wait a minute. Isn't that true first, right?
Is what true? I'm sorry.
You came from a parents who were screwed up?
Yes, very, very dysfunctional.
Right. And you dealt with women that were screwed up.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, in a way, I come from a family where the women, you could argue, were very accomplished.
No such thing as an accomplished woman.
Well, you just said in an earlier segment, the more like you were talking about Pelosi, and you were also adding some commentary. You were saying, these women, the more education you give them, their egos can grow out of control.
Right, but they're not accomplished. They become evil. They become really demons of Satan. But
well, I agree with you that their ego can grow out of control. But the problem is, if you add to that the growing power and influence and legal power that women have, it can become kind of a scary recipe where the man feels afraid. He's walking on eggshells.
Not to real men, not to men who have returned to the Father and love what's right more than anything else. There's no fear in him. He can deal with that evil that's coming through the woman because he would be guided by the Father within. You wouldn't be afraid of that. You would deal with that.
I see.
And so you came from parents who were screwed up. You dated a couple of women who were screwed up, right?
No. Actually, no. The women.
You never dated?
No, I would say yes. I've dated many women, especially in my college days. I would say that the women I dated were very good.
And did they call the cops on you?
No.
Well, what made you join MGTOW?
I'm sorry?
Why did you join MGTOW then?
Well, I unfortunately suffered a false domestic violence accusation from my stepmother, and that, and among other things, I basically came to see that right now men and women are sort of pitted against each other, and then on top of that, like you say, women can sometimes they can grow a very large ego, and then on top of that, now they have more political power, and they have the state on their side. So basically, MGTOW are men we have this idea that maybe right now we should wait it out.
And so that's why you joined. That's why Joseph joined a losing group of males. Why don't you stand apart from that and become tougher through the situation? Why not seek the Father his right way so you can see how? Because these women have no power. They are not strong. They are not equal to men. They are weak vessels. But if you don't
I agree with that.
You don't overcome them, if you don't overcome them, you're going to join a group of men who are losers.
Well, again, what I would say to that is I agree with what you just said, the past clause, that women are the weaker of the two vessels.
But so this
group
of men,
I also think that there is a cadre of men that support this, and they will throw the other men, the good, the righteous men, the religious men, under the bus.
And what does that have to do with you?
Well, essentially, that's what I'm saying is happening to a lot of good men in our society.
Is that a reason to join a losing group of men who sit around the dinner table and complain?
Well, we don't really sit around a dinner table. We're more like an online community.
Right. Is that a reason to join a group of men who are losers?
Oh, boy. Okay, so I guess you want me to say no. So the answer to that is no, then.
Why did you join a group of losing men? That's not encouraging to you. That's not encouraging you to be strong. That's not encouraging you as an individual to overcome evil with good. They're not telling you, you know what? We got to do this the right way. We got to turn back to the Father. We got to guide the women. We got to change these laws. You're sitting around with a group of men who are losers. That's not going to help you.
Well, I do agree with you that I think we should change the laws.
But you should also overcome. You should also overcome the weakness of women. You have not overcome your mother yet.
Well, you know what? I probably would agree with you on that. My mother and I, we had a falling out. I haven't spoken with her in probably at this point maybe 6 or 7 years. I would like to maybe someday, go and see her. She moved to Denver, Colorado. Maybe go and see her and try to make amends. But I don't know. It's sort of
you don't need to make amends with her. You need to forgive her for what she's done to you, so you can overcome her nature. And that way, the women that you do get involved with won't be like your mother. You'll be able to deal with them in a perfect way. And if it's meant for you to be married, the Father will add one to you. You will have a marriage that will last. You need to work on you, not join some losing group.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
So why don't you contact your mother? Hey, I realize now you're wicked. You can't help it. I'm sorry for hating you for it. And God will forgive you, Joseph, and forgive your father for not protecting you from your mother. Because just as you couldn't protect, if you got married, you would be able to protect your children from their mother. Your father had the same issue. And then you wouldn't have to go through that.
At this point, Jesse, I'm so scared of the legal powers that abusive women can hold. I'm actually thinking eventually I want to have children through surrogacy, where you go to another country, you go through an agency, you got to get a lawyer, and then
Joseph,
you pay this woman money, and then, you can have a child, and then, you have the child free and clear. You don't have to worry about accusations, the silver bullet, as they say in legal circles,
what a
child support, alimony, palimony, all
what a
these problems.
sad, poor excuse of a man.
I'm telling you, it's
Joseph, that's the wrong
think,
way to go, man. You're not meant to be that way. That's a
what I'm trying to tell you. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
That's a cowardly way out.
I wanted to get. Listen. I used to want to get married. There was a time when one of my highest goals in life was to get married and to provide for my family and all this.
That's why you should never have a goal.
Well,
you should you should only want to do the Father's will, because you don't know what is meant for you in life. You don't know what you want in life. You don't know anything. So your desire is to the Father's will be done to you through you. He's already laid your life out from within.
Well, I don't know. Again, at 37, maybe at 20, I would agree with you. But now that I'm 37, I think I do know what I want to do. And I still want to have children.
No, you have no idea. You went from being a pro-woman sucker to an anti-woman sucker.
Well, I very much appreciate your insight. I very much appreciate your opinion. I don't agree with everything you just said, but I do appreciate it. And I do think you're right. I've been meaning, I should probably go over, at least give my mom a call, try to mend fences or something.
Listen, no, do not mend the fence with evil. Your mother's evil unless she's changed since you last saw her. You want to overcome.
No. I would not say that she has changed.
Right.
I would say she was very very malevolent. She never graduated high school. She has an extensive criminal history. There's lots of problems there. But
and the reason she has a problem because her mother did it to her, turned her away from her father, as she did to you. And so what I recommend, instead of joining some group of men who are sitting around whining, I would pull away, become an individual. I would seek first the kingdom of God in his right way. I would go and forgive your mother. Hey, I'm sorry for resenting you for what you did. I realize now you can help it. And God will forgive you. Don't ask for forgiveness. Don't try to make amends. Go and forgive her. And you can do it by FaceTime. You don't have to go there. But you want to be looking at her if you can. And then forgive your father for not protecting you. Get out of this group of loser males so that you can become an individual, a son of God, and he will guide your life, and you will have an amazing life.
I hear you, and I appreciate it.
What do you think about that advice?
I think that's good advice. But I still, what I was going to say is I wanted to end the conversation by asking you this open-ended question. What is it still worth getting married? If I were to meet a girl next year, is it still, would you still advocate getting married?
I am for families, but they need to come together naturally. And right now, you're not in any condition to get married because you're a beta male. The woman will walk all over you and destroy your children.
Okay.
I need
to become an alpha male.
Yes, absolutely. And the way you do that is by overcoming your mother's nature that's in you. You have the mindset and the nature of a woman, which is your mother. You must be born of the Father. So don't seek the woman, seek God from within.
I see.
And then if it's because your desire is really for a return to the Father, but Satan is telling you that it's about having a family, it's about having a woman, it's about this or that, and it's not. It's not about those things at all. You are out in the wilderness, you need to return to the Father.
Well, I sort of have been avoiding my father for the last couple of years.
I know you just beta all around.
We sort of had a falling out a couple of years ago, but
you would not. You have no love. You would not make for a good husband or a good father. You need to overcome the fallen state. Then, if it's meant for you to have a wife, God will give you one, it'll be amazing, Joseph. But right now, you wouldn't be a good father. You're as weak as the women that you've been with because they are your God, and you don't know how to deal with your God.
I see.
It's not the woman. Yes, the woman has her issues, but it's not about the woman. It's about you and your issues that you need to overcome.
Talking just for a second, because we're on the subject. So I sort of had a falling out with my dad a couple years ago. I guess 3 years ago now, and I spoke with him a little bit. Think like 2 or 3 times a year. My birthday is coming up in a couple weeks. I'm assuming he'll probably call me like usual. Would you advise that I go and hang out with him, go to lunch with him, or something like that?
100%, and ask him. Okay. Ask him why did he protect you from your mother, so you can see that you're just like him, weak. He never overcame his mother. Have a real conversation with him. Don't yell at him like a little woman, but have a real conversation with your father. Show him love by wanting to understand what he has gone through. Because your father loved you. Why are you mad at your father?
Yeah, I know my father loves me.
What did he do to you?
Well, I guess if I have 10 or 20 seconds to just, very quickly. So, my parents got divorced. My father lost millions of dollars. Then he remarried another woman, this like hardcore, card-carrying feminist. She was always very abusive. Of course, I'm a man, so she's not going to be very nice to me. And then, I just had this idea that the marriage. Oh, she was also caught cheating on my father multiple times.
What did your father do to you, Joseph?
Exactly what you just said. He didn't protect me. The way I see it is he
What did your father do to you?
He did not protect me from these abusive women.
So he didn't do anything to you. He just didn't protect you from them, right?
Well, yes, but I was a child at the time. Wasn't it his job to protect me since I could not protect myself?
But he didn't do anything to you per se. He just didn't know how to protect you from the women.
I would say that's a fair assessment.
And you're the same way. You don't know how to deal with women either.
I do. I avoid them. That's how I do.
I know, because just like your father.
Oh, boy. Okay.
So that's why you need to have a real conversation with him. Now you understand that you are too weak to deal with women because you have not overcome your mother. Likewise, you will understand that that's why he didn't protect you, because he didn't know how to deal with women either. Every woman he got involved with was mama. He became the boy, they became his mama. But he loved Joseph. He loved his son.
I hear you. He does. Oh, no, I know absolutely.
And you're wrong for not forgiving your father. You're going to be left outside of the kingdom because you won't forgive your father.
Yeah, no.
You're as bad as he is, or worse.
No.
You don't love him, so you're worse.
No, I do love my father.
If you loved him, you wouldn't hold grudges against him.
Oh, I definitely have a grudge against him right now.
So you don't love him then?
Yeah.
Real love doesn't remember grudges. It doesn't remember attacks. It doesn't remember those things. You don't have any love for your father, man. You're just like a woman. You're holding grudges. And if you could call the police and have him arrested, you would.
No, I wouldn't.
Yes,
you
would.
True. No, that's
you don't love him. What would stop you?
Because I love him. No, I would not.
No, if you loved him, you would be angry at him.
Well,
because look
I'm
at your life.
In.
You can't have no women either. You're on the run. You joined a losing group.
Again, I would say we're an online community of men.
I don't care if it's online or offline. Y'all still losers. It's just like the blacks. Don't you agree with me that the blacks are blaming the whites for their problems? Most blacks, so they're losers. Do you see that the blacks are losers?
Okay, I want to answer that. When I listen to certain people, let's say like Larry Elder, I think he would. Yes, ultimately, I agree with you. I think that slavery was terrible.
Do you see the blacks as a group complaining losers?
Yes, unfortunately, I think they
Well,
have
that's how
fallen
it
into
is
like a
with you and your
victim
little
mentality.
group. You guys are complainer losers.
So you think we've adopted like a victim mentality?
I rest my case.
Mm. And I got to rise above that, embrace this individuality.
Yes.
You know, it's you know, you make it sound so easy, Justin. You know
It is easy if you do it the right way. If you get to know the Father within, forgive your mother. And I'm not telling you got to hang out with her, but forgive her for what she's done, turning you away from your father. Forgive your father for not protecting you. He couldn't help it. And God will forgive you. Then life is easy.
Mm. Well, in a way, I would say that's what I'm looking for. I want to be able to shed some of these negative emotions. You know, I've never.
See, you sound just like a woman. A man is not an emotional human being. Only women are. And any man that is an emotion is a woman.
But women can make you emotional.
No, your mother made you that way. Your mother made you that way. So when you met women, you were already that way, and they just brought it out. They can't bring out something that's not in you.
Well, yeah, I mean, I try to be stoic, you know, but...
It's not about being stoic. It's about being a perfect love, which is from the father, not from the mother.
I hear you. I've listened to you many times. No, I guess I agree with that argument.
Joseph, you need to pull away from this loser group, become an individual, and then you will have friends around you. You will have a life, and you would not look back and regret living life as a loser. Don't let these women defeat you. What the?
Yes, hello?
Don't let these women defeat you.
I hear you. I hear you. I'm trying.
Well, then pull away from that group of weak men. Become an individual. Seek the kingdom of God. Are you doing my silent prayer video?
No, I do pray, but I haven't done that yet.
And when you pray, what do you say?
Well, I'm a Catholic, so, you know, our Father, you know.
Oh, Lord, you worship Hail Mary.
It's just like brushing my teeth, you know, once before bedtime. You know?
That's a waste of time. Stop hailing Mary. Mary can't do anything for you. Listen.
Okay.
Do your little Hail Mary, but do the once you're done with this Hail Mary, do the silent prayer, and the Father will guide you from within. Everything you're looking for, Joseph, is in you, within you already. But you must forgive your father, your mother, so that you.
I know.
Because
it's
that
a little bit
nature.
harder than you say, though.
What?
It's I'm just saying. I'm giving you. It's harder than you make it sound. You know, it's just the idea of getting on the phone with her is very. I don't know. It's just I hear you though.
But that's why you should do it, because it's hard to face your mother, and you should know that it shouldn't be hard to face your mother. That's your mother, but you resent her because of what she has done to you, and now you're afraid of her. You're afraid to face her, and likewise, you're afraid to face the spirit of mother in other women. But once you forgive your mother,
I agree with you.
Once you forgive your mother, you won't be afraid of that spirit in other women. You would deal with it.
Yeah, I hear you. Again, I've heard your message. I've listened to you for years, on and off. I like your program. I guess I'll leave it at that. I'm sorry I have to go, but thank you for taking my call.
A great call. Let me know how it goes. Go face your mother so you can face the world.
I'm telling you, this little chat this little talk you just gave me right now, who knows? Maybe I'll call back in 6 months and I'll hopefully maybe give you a good update.
I hope so, man. I wish you well.
All right, Jesse, it was a pleasure. Take care, sir.
Same here. Okay. Amazing. Man, really, it's time to wake up. Nancy Pelosi want to rule the world. If that don't scare the hell out of you, I don't know what will. Amazing. And don't forget to like, follow, tweet, subscribe, and share the Jesse Lee Peterson radio show, folks. We really appreciate it. We are at war. It is a spiritual battle for the soul of America. And it's going to take all of us to do it.